Western Africa is starting to get pretty rich, and a lot of international investors are overlooking the opportunities that exist in countries like Ghana and Cote d'Ivoire. I believe that the next generation of ultra rich billionaires in real estate are going to come from Western Africa. I had an opportunity to do consultation for a development company in Abidjan, and what I saw there was very surprising. The main business district, which is called Plateau, was so well developed that you would have mistaken it for a very wealthy Western city. And some of the areas that were less wealthy, like Cocody, had houses that would put any of our McMansions to shame. We need to have Western style finance, which is already coming out there, mainly through Deutsche Bank and some of the Swiss banks that are making a lot of inroads into West Africa. As more of us Western investors realize that we can make amazing returns in Africa, we're going to start putting money in there and it's just going to fuel a big fire.
In this video, this white man made a statement that has struck fire on the internet. Now, he says that he works as a consultant for real estate agencies in West Africa and particularly Ghana and Cote d'Ivoire. So he says that he was in Abidjan, that is the capital of Cote d'Ivoire, to do his consultation works, and he discovered something that he thinks that other white investors need to come to West Africa because he thinks that the next group of real estate billionaires are going to come from West Africa. Now, he says when he was doing his consulting work, he went to a place known as Plateau in Cote d'Ivoire, and all the mansions over there were so nice to the extent that you will mistaken it for a Western country. And that statement made me come back a bit and analyze it, thinking that this city or should have been a Western city, I don't think is right, or mistaking that for a Western city isn't right, in the sense that it looks like everything that is poor, bad, not good, not befitting should always be related to Africa, whereas everything that looks good, nice, beautiful should be related to the West. So he says you may mistake that for a Western city, and that statement isn't right at all. Why should you think that everything from Africa should be of low standard or should be inferior? He says he also worked in a place known as Cocody, where mansions over there would even put the mega mansions in the Western world to shame. I don't know why he thinks that everything from Africa should be inferior, whereas everything from the West should be seen as superior. That is why I have a problem with him. Now, after he made this statement, it has struck a lot of reactions from Africans, from the diaspora, and even indigenous to also give a comment about this video. So let's listen to some of the reactions of people who reacted to this video. I will come back and talk about it. But before that, if you haven't yet liked the video, kindly like the video and also subscribe to the channel. Let's watch the videos together.
I genuinely want to know what is going to make white people happy as a collective. I want to know. You have colonized the entire planet to where people that look like me is living in your regions. Then you complain and tell us to go back to where we come from. And that's not enough. You're not colonizing outer space so you can disrupt the aliens' peace they've had. Then you want to come back again for the second time and colonize us again when we haven't even stood up yet from the last 400 years of the shit job done.
I say this to you in the most polite of ways that I possibly can, but West Africa has never been overlooked. If West Africa was overlooked, then the slave trade would never have happened. If West Africa was overlooked, then Congo would not be in the state that it is right now. So I'm going to ask you really nicely, kindly refrain from thinking that Africa needs more foreign investors to come into Africa, and allow Africa to focus on Africa, Allow us to focus on whatever it is that we feel needs to happen for Africa. But in terms of foreign investors, I really think that it's not necessary, not at the moment. But if anything is to change, I'm sure that we will send you an invite. But As an African, I think that Africans would like to focus on solving our own problems at the moment, taking advantage of our opportunities at the moment, and making sure that Africa develops as a collective without any foreign investors. But I'm sure if you look at Australia or maybe somewhere in Europe, that there's also opportunities there, you know, like it's very important that you focus on your own people and the development of your own country. Isn't that what you tell us all the time, to focus on our own people and the development of our own countries? Allow us the opportunity to do that, because quite frankly, I feel like you've done quite a lot and enough, especially when it comes to West Africa. And West Africa really doesn't need any more foreign investors to come into West Africa. I mean, I could be wrong, and I'm really speaking for myself, but yeah, it's a no from me, hey.
In this video, he is basically talking about an experience that he had when he went to Abidjan, a city in West Africa, and he said it was so well developed that you would have mistaken it for a Western city, as if there aren't many developed cities on the continent of Africa. And basically, in this video, he is encouraging Western developers and investors to go over to West Africa and get in on the real estate game. They basically gentrify it like they do black and brown neighborhoods here in the US. And so this is very important. Just how they gentrify our neighborhoods and now we can't afford to live here, that'll be happening if they get their hands on the real estate game in West Africa. So if you are West African and black and you have resources, invest in your own country, invest in your own land.
So yesterday I posted a video where I was teaching this other white dude that was talking about how Western Africa is becoming rich and is the land of opportunities, and he was asking his people to go and invest in Africa. And I was expressing my rebuttal to his claim, and I was actually shocked at the amount of support that have received from a lot of people. That video went viral in 24 hours, and my intent was just to speak out of my heart to that guy, because I really don't like how those people are coming to exploit our continents and leaving us with nothing in our continents and still disrespecting us. But to my surprise, I mean, I shouldn't be surprised by that fact, but that video has been banned. Not even 24 hours, but that video went viral. That video has about 66,600 views and over 15,000 likes. So this shows that there is a need for unity amongst us. For so long, black people all around the world in the diaspora, we have been divided. We have been separated by different prejudices, different stereotypes that was created by the same people that have reported that video where I was exposing the white dudes. So the white supremacists have done their best to separate us. And when I was going through the comments before the video got banned, I saw a couple of pushbacks from some non-melanated people. And again, the same people trying to divide us, telling me, hey, listen, why are you speaking for black Americans? They don't even like your Africans. I'm like, dudes, first of all, this is the same tactics that they have always used, trying to divide us all around the world, because us coming together is the biggest threat. But at the end of the day, I'm not speaking for anybody. I'm only speaking what my heart wanted me to express. And what I wanted to express was the fact that these people have been in Africa forever, and they've never provided us any solution. If anything, they are the one causing all the problems that we have, and then they pretend to offer a solution, but at the end of the day, they don't want us to have any solution because they profit off of our problems. So they have to keep us in bondage like that. That's what I was saying. Instead of y'all caring too much about what Africa is doing, what's happening in Africa, first of all, you owe African American reparation. Give them whatever you owe to them, and also us, Africa, would rather do business with African American than with y'all, because you guys have never given us any solution. So it's time for us to move on, and please leave us alone, because you don't have our best interest at heart.
Welcome back. So in this video, this white man made a statement that these Africans reacted to the statement. He says that West Africa, and particularly Ghana and Cote d'Ivoire, is becoming a hub for real estate investment, and he calls on his fellow white people to come and invest over here so that they'll be able to make a lot of money. He says the next group of billionaires will be coming from real estate owners in West Africa, particularly. And I think that this kind of mindset is not healthy for us as a continent, in the sense that whenever Africa begins to do something right, then the Western world will now come in. Oh, I'm coming to help. I am coming in as an investor. Then they will leech off every good thing that Africa should have benefited from. Now, talk of our oil reserves, our oil discovery that we have had. Most African countries have discovered oil, but none of these African countries are able to use the revenue out of these oil discovery to develop their nations. And this is not right. I think in this generation, we need to sit down and we need to put things right in order for the next generation to at least benefit from the toil of what we did today. From the seeds that we planted today, the next generation should be able to enjoy from the fruits of the seeds that we are planting today. So this man calling on investors from outside, white investors, to come into Africa and invest over here. And when they invest here and get profit out of it, where do you think the profit is going to go? They'll take it back to their country. So in other ways, they are leeching off from us, and they are using that to build good life for themselves whilst we still ravage in poverty. And this should not be allowed to happen. So I like the fact that these Africans stood and talked about this so that we would also be able to contain such wealth in Africa and use that to build our continent. Now, real estate should be funded by Africans or even Africans in the diaspora who would want to come and profit off of this great venture which is booming currently in Africa and particularly West Africa. So those are the thoughts of some Africans on this particular video in reaction to what the white man said. Let me know what you also think about this in the comment section below. Do you think that the statement that he made is good, or do you think otherwise? Now, who are the people to invest in Africa? Let me know also that in the comment section below. Now, if you are an African American or an African in the diaspora, let me know if you'll be coming to Africa to invest in Africa if you have the resources. Thank you very much for watching this video. Let me know what you think about this in the comment section below. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Just click the subscribe button down there. Click on the subscribe button. Click as well on the notification bell. And I'd like to see you again in my next video.